Hey Clashers, it is time! Clan War League is around the corner, and this just means one thing. Bases are needed. And this means we're going to talk about town level 9 all the way up to town level 17. And we're going to start with town level 9 to kick this off. As well, all of the base links are down below in the description, but we're going to talk about the clan castles which are recommended for every single base builder. Obviously, a huge shout out goes to them for building those bases and for RH Base Building for sponsoring this video with all of those bases. And if you want to get their custom-made bases, you can visit their Discord or their website down below with the link. But let's get ready, let's get started with town level 9. And the first thing, which you already noticed, we are always going to see a core town hall. This base is built by Valley, and the clan castle which he recommends is one lava hound. This really fits with the overall style where you have a ring of defense around the outside and then this really stacked core when it comes down to hit points, to make sure that troops are getting as much delayed as possible and the outside defenses have time to fire back. But let's move on to town level 10. Valley as well built this base, and this time we're switching things up with the clan castle. This time around it is going to be damage, which means 1 super minion, 2 headhunters and 11 archers. This can be a lot of damage, but on top of that, this base has a quite empty core on this side, which means the pathing into it is quite tricky. You always have those outside layers and you always have those connection buildings, which means getting from those outside compartments into the core is not as easy, especially for air troops with the setup of this sweeper. It is not going to be easy to get this second star for some of those attackers. So this is something to keep in mind, but I think that we should move on to the next town hall level, because the next one is going to be town level 12 and the base builder on this one is VRB. We have the court town hall and we have the egalitary now introduced to the town hall level. As well, the egalitary is really important on the lower town hall level where it's like getting introduced. It's getting less relevant as you're climbing up, where it's like becoming one of the worst defenses. But at the start, it's really strong. That's why you're covering it with 2 sweepers. If someone's attacking with air, they kind of have to go into at least 1 sweeper if they're lightning out another one, for example, or they have to invest a lot of spells to take and shut down those sweepers, or they have to accept that the eagle is on the far side. The clan castle, which is recommended on this town hall 11 base from VRB, is just damage. 1 super minion, 2 headhunters and 11 archers to make attackers struggle and as well have some problems with all of the damage coming in. Next town hall level is going to be town level 12. On this one, Tutti has built this base and it's going to be a crazy clan castle because it's going to be 40 archers. And trust me, this is even used on the higher town level as well, because if those archers are splitting and you do not are dropping the perfect poison, or in the worst case, you don't even bring a poison in your attack, because that's a lot of people, are not doing that, then you have a problem. 40 archers, and especially if it's getting even worse, Electro Dragons, oh boy, you have a problem right there. As well, it's kind of the same concept again, having a more empty core, making sure that the overall setup with the sweepers is covering it to make sure that the town hall is really hard to be reached, and you're kind of forcing the attackers to some degree to use a blimp to take it out, for example, because the pathing of the troops itself can be kind of challenging to get towards that building. Town hall 13 is the next one. This one is built by Wolves, and he's recommending again as well a damage-oriented clan castle, which means 2 super minions, 2 rocket loons this time around, and 5 archers. The rocket loons are as well an incredible strong defensive tool, because especially heroes and such are taken care of really quickly if the attacker cannot react. As well, the same setup again, we have the eagle on one side and then both sweepers pointing into that direction. As well, a more empty core, even though we have some more soldiers in here, but still, he's trying to prevent that pathing with dead zones, which means no buildings, and this means with no buildings, there's no pathing into that area, and if you don't funnel it correctly, this can cause a lot of problems then. And this is exactly what he's relying on with this type of base. Next on, town level 14. On town level 14, we have Ronaldo building this beautiful base. We have the town hall really isolated in the core. Not many other key defenses are within that compartment except the clan castle, if you count that as a defense. You should fill this one with a lava hound and then 2 headhunters and then archers. And all of the other key defenses are more on the outside ring. Like Scatter is around that town hall. We have as well on the left side with the eagle. Expos, Infernos and such. And then on the bottom right side, we have another setup with Expos and Inferno. So overall a lot of damage, but more on the outside to have a lot of hit points in the core to really stall out the attacker and make sure that it's not as easy to get through all of this. It's also not having that many defensive building inside the core. It can be as well tricky with the Root Riders to actually get that pathing set up. Next on is going to be Town Hall level 15, and this has to be one of my favorite bases from ESK because it's kind of taking advantage of this Invis and Rage Tower setup. And I think especially on this town level, not many have attacked this yet, which means if you're using this type of base early on in the Clan War League season, as this style has just came up during the last Legend season for Town Hall 17, you can have an incredible success. And I would love to hear how this base pretty much defends for you in your Clan War League, because I think if you're facing clans who might not have like 2 accounts or something where they have already experiencing attacking this style of base, oh boy, they might be in a big struggle. And let's see, I'm looking forward to hear back from you guys. The recommended clan class on this one is 2 Ice Golems, 2 Rocket Loons, and then 4 Archers to finish the job. Next on is going to be Town Hall level 16. On this one, we're switching back to the Rage Towers to make sure that we have a lot of damage. And then to stall out the attacker, we have the Ice Golem recommendation, which is just a super common one. 2 Ice Golems, and then you can fill with a lot of different stuff. We have just heard on Town level 15 with the Rocket Loons. On this one is just going to be Rest Archers to make sure that air attackers struggle a little bit more, because as we have said earlier, if those Archers are not getting covered by a perfect deployed poison, this can be problematic for the attacker itself. As well, we have this rage area around the bottom and top side of that town hall, as well the far left side with the eagle. And this is as well where the eagle is getting less relevant. And you have seen this as well in the World Championship for Town Hall 16, that the eagle a lot of times is like put really far on the outside to make sure that it's not, because it's so big, to make it not really annoying in the core. And yeah, just kind of like leave it there and forget it. And that's kind of the thinking here. But move on to Town level 17. This base built by Lelantos, and it has a really stacked core when it comes down to this Rage Tower area. We have the Rage Tower covering both of those fire spitters with a classic setup pointing at each other, and we have as well a lot of momentum traps, how I like to call them, for the Royal Champion, which means spaced out defenses around the outside layer. And this can cause a lot of times that the Royal Champion is traveling quite far, where the Invis is not covering everything, where you have awkward timings with that Invis spell, and this can cause some problems for an unexperienced Royal Champion charge attacker. And as well around the bottom right side, where we have the storages in the third layer, or like second layer kinda, where the pathing for Root Riders really makes sure that you're not getting into that core and not getting easy access into that core, into that town hall section. But this is overall the base. We have the recommendation from, again, 2 Rocket Loons. And because Root Riders are so popular, it is 2 Rocket Loons with 2 Ice Golems and then fill with Archers. That's all of the bases we have today. A huge shout out again goes to all of the base builders as well. Get your own custom-made bases from RH Base Building if you want to. And otherwise, I hope you have great success with those bases in the Clan War League. And I wish you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash of Clans video. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.